Welcome into the Film Buffa podcast. Yes, a special movie-only division of the Buffa's Buffet Substack newsletter. Again, you can read all of my stuff on www.dailydoseofbuffa.substack.com. It is a beautiful day in St. Louis, and that means it is time to record a pod. I do a pod for somebody, and then I do a pod for everybody. That's how the day goes. That's how the lunch hour goes. I could be eating or I could be producing content. I don't know. I get a kick out of the latter, especially at this time of the day. Be reviewing The War Machine or War Machine. There's a L in front of it. It is the new Netflix movie with Alan Ritchson, who everybody will know as the new and really the only Jack Reacher. He is the star of the big, I would say, Netflix's first big spring kind of release, spring kind of weather. It came out Friday, started streaming. It co-stars guys you may or may not know, like Stephen James, who was one of the thieves in the very underappreciated Chadwick Boseman movie, 21 Bridges. Jay Courtney has a small role in the film. And Dennis Quaid and Issei Morales also have small roles. But mostly it's Alan Ritchson doing kind of Arnold circa 1980s kind of movie leading. That's the kind of movie star power he's bringing to this one. And it's pretty entertaining, and it's a pretty exhilarating war movie as far as an hour and 59 minutes being packed with a good amount of suspense, not a lot of let up. Like, there aren't a lot of lulls in this movie. He is in the St. Louis. He's in St. Louis. He's in the Army, and he is the guy who kind of stops on the side of the road for people that don't know how to put liquid and fuel or whatever into their trucks. So when in the movie, Jay Courtney plays his brother. When his brother puts the wrong kind of stuff into the vehicle on the side of the road, the Humvee, the convoy breaks down, and Mr. Ritchson's character has to come by and do it. And it creates kind of a nice little loving moment between the brothers. And that is kind of a foundational part of the movie. And I won't spoil everything about that, but Ritchson is going out to become an Army Ranger. And when you have to go through kind of a Navy SEAL type training to do that, and to get your Ranger scroll and to walk across that finish line, that is his goal. Something him and his brother want to do. And so the last part of their training throws them into the jungle. It's the last part, the toughest part of the training. And that, as any movie fan would know, that's when shit gets real and it hits the fan and it spins around. And it produces a bunch of very, very well shot action. Patrick Hughes did the movie. The thing that he is most well known for is the Hitman's Bodyguard and the Hitman's Bodyguard's girlfriend. So this is definitely a step up in that territory as far as being not just a silly action comedy, but something that you can really enjoy. And when you get a guy like Ritchson, who is just very convincing as an action hero, you're going to have no doubt thinking that he can survive in that jungle. But his character's got a little something to him, that a little bit of a chip on his shoulder and some trauma in his past. That is the reason that he is kind of this unstoppable force in wanting to become an Army Ranger. It wasn't his idea, but he feels like he has to do it. And when him and his team get stranded, they run into what they would probably call, in the title of the movie, a war machine. It is seemingly an alien ship body looking like the thing that took out a bunch of people in Empire Strikes Back. You can get to see it for yourself in the movie. It's gonna be one of those things where you're looking up at it and going, okay, what is this thing gonna do to human bodies? Is it gonna just blast them apart, turn them into ash, turn them into a cat or a chihuahua? But Ritchson and his team are on the run, and of course they start getting picked off. This movie reminded me of Predator, Arnold's 1984 movie, where of course his team got stranded in the jungle with the wrong kind of creature or being or tank or whatever they want to call it. And you know, the whole idea is who survives, who dies, How is the action going to go? Is it going to be relentless? Is it going to be fun? And I will tell you, as I check the time, because the plumbing doesn't pick itself. And just in case you're wondering who is talking to me, I'm Dan Buffa. This is my Substack video podcast division called The Film Buffa, where I review movies. And today we are talking about War Machine, which is a new Netflix movie starring the aforementioned Alan Ritchson, who, if you have not been under a rock for the last 3 years, you will know as the new Reacher on the Amazon Prime series. But he's also spreading his talents to Netflix now. And this is a role that does remind me, like I said, of Predator, the 1984 Arnold movie, because if you watch the movie, you're going to know 2 or 3 things in the movie are like a direct callback to that movie. And it's a great callback. It's like a loving callback, a good nod to a great previous action film with similar plot ingredients. And again, for an hour and 59 minutes, this movie does not waste your time. It entertains you. It doesn't mess around with any kind of extra subplots. There's a thing with the lead character and his brother, but then that's about it. And it's kind of just, he's trying to finish this mission, and he gets what comes in his path is a very, very deadly machine, the War Machine. But can the War Machine take down the guy who plays Reacher? Because that's what the association is going to be. But the good thing about this movie is that it gives him a different kind of character to work with. There's a little bit of angst, a little bit of guilt in Ritchson's character's backstory here. And so I think it's a very easy movie to like. It's a nice, perfect Netflix movie. Back in the day, which was a Tuesday in the 90s or the 80s or the early 2000s, this movie could have came out in the theater and it could have done well, especially even with a newer guy like Ritchson. Maybe it wouldn't have been like a blockbuster hit, but this is the movie that I would have went to see at Kenrick or Esquire in the big theater, and the sound would have just been blasting around the cinema and the auditorium, and I would have left like, oh man, that's awesome. I would have went home, and what do you do when you're a kid? You would get a fake machine gun and go out into the alley, which when I grew up in St. Louis City, it wasn't exactly a safe alley. So it kind of made sense when I went back there. I was like, who is that? An alien? No, that's the bum with a knife. Go this way. So I did that as a kid. If this movie came out when I was a kid, I would be in the backyard with a gun with some fake, night goggles, which would just be my swimming goggles with some camo spray on my green clothing. But that's the kind of thing that this will do. And I think Alan Ritchson, like Arnold and Sly and Bruce Willis were for me, he's going to be the action hero for a young generation, for the teenage generation. Even the 8, the 9, the 10, the 15-year-olds, they're going to love this guy because he is the epitome of an action star. He's got charisma, he's got presence, and you have no doubt he can kick the shit out of people. And he just kind of does it. He knows what he is. He's like Arnold and maybe Statham, who knows exactly why he is here. It doesn't mean he can't give a deeper performance, or he weeps a little more, or he looks a little sad, or he has a longing stare. No, he's an action star. We go to him to make us stop thinking about work, or about bills, or about bad shit. Go watch that guy kick everybody's ass and grow a little bit of a shadow the entire time. So yeah, The War Machine is well worth a watch. It is damn good. Pretty good entertainment. Like, if I had to give it a grade, which I hate doing with movies, it's just hard, I give it a B+. A-, we're getting a little crazy. But not just a B. I think I get a B+ for what it is and what it does and what it promised and what it actually gives you. It does it. So I'm also excited, before I get off of here, I'm excited about a new Guy Ritchie movie called In the Gray, which stars Jake Gyllenhaal and Henry Cavill, or Cavillness, as I call him. Hello, you Sir Cavillness. And Isa Gonzalez, who was in Baby Driver. They're going to be in a movie where a couple extraction specialists have to figure out how to deal with a senior female client. And I can tell you that Gyllenhaal and Cavill are the extractors, It's got a little bit of Red Notice with Reynolds and The Rock kind of ingredients to it, but it's done by Guy Ritchie. So hopefully it's got some snappy writing and it's got some good action. Guy Ritchie did do the Roadhouse movie and The Covenant with Gyllenhaal, so this will be his third movie. He did The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare with Mr. Cavill, so it won't be his first go-around with the Cavillness, who is all over the internet right now because he is filming the Highlander movie with Dave Bautista. That is a lot of muscle. That is that's like gold gym muscle in that movie. I mean, do you think they when they first introduced each other, they had a Carl Weathers, Arnold, Dylan, you son of a bitch, and they had that big bicep grab, and Guy Ritchie is just like, oh man, whose arm is gonna explode first? Maybe. But yeah, Gyllenhaal, Cavill, In the Gray comes out in May. I want to say in theaters, but possibly on Prime, as I know Ritchie does a lot of movies right now with Amazon Prime. So that's all I got today. The War Machine is good on Netflix, streaming its ass off. Watch it once, watch it twice with your best friend. Make the person you don't like watch it. Say, hey, you suck. Watch this movie, though. And get ready for In the Gray, which is coming out in a couple months. Have a good one. It is Monday, and the Monday blues are a real thing, but the good thing about Monday, like any day of the week, it's going to fucking die. And then Tuesday's going to be here, and then Wednesday, and then Thursday, and then Friday, and then we get to have the weekend. So until then, until I talk to you next, be good, be patient, and be kind out there, okay? It's a fucking struggle, okay? And by the way, don't ever hesitate to tell somebody something. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You got me? Okay, good. Bye, everybody.